segment, you will have a chance to think deeply about the importance of physical activity as a key vehicle for learning. We will hear from educators about how they apply this fundamental principle of the curriculum and help students learn by doing.
Learning through physical activity is important because I find most of my students are kinesthetic learners, and when they're moving and they're active and they're involved, I think there's a whole other level of awareness for students.
Physical activity and learning, to me, are one and the same. You can't get students to buy into understanding what you're trying to teach them if they're not engaged. And in my classrooms and I'm trying in my school to incorporate that physical activity is a stepping stone to learning. You get the kids active, you get them engaged, you get them learning.
This year there was times where I would do physical activities in the classroom and all of a sudden the students would be awake, they'd be engaged, they'd be excited. Whereas if I did a traditional lesson, I found that my students would be half asleep or not involved. So I like to bring in activities that surprise them or engage them in new ways that they've never seen before.
We do learn through doing. Research says that when we engage more than 3 senses, we really learn. So oftentimes it's a visual and an auditory learner where we're listening or we're watching something. But if we can get up and move and manipulate and create with our bodies in terms of learning, then we learn it much more deeply.
Learning through physical activity not only develops physical skills, but cognitive skills too. It also provides an opportunity for students to develop emotional and social skills.
It's like Maslow's hierarchy of need. You need to sleep, you need to eat properly, you need physical activity, you need to belong. But health-wise, physically healthy, you're going to live longer, you're going to be able to do more, you're going to be happy, it's a de-stressor. They learn about teamwork and getting along and problem solving. If it's an individual activity, they're learning about being motivated, being focused, making choices. Kids are active by nature, so if you talk about younger kids, they want to play, they want to be active. That's as human beings, that's what we are.
Providing the opportunity for kinesthetic learning in the classroom keeps things interesting for students and encourages full engagement.
Students that in our classrooms that are moving and they seem to grasp the fact that they're understanding better when they're just moving as opposed to sitting still, and all of a sudden they start to get numb all over the body, where if they're moving and they're running around, they're all of a sudden their blood flow's going, their heart rate's going. I always call it increased blood flow, increased brain flow.
We need to get kids, our students, up and moving in very different ways. All the research shows, this is your brain on physical activity, and you can see the connections that are going on. So it helps students make connects to what they're learning. It's just a really important part of it.
Before moving on, let's take a moment to pause and ponder. How can you work with students and their interests to support their learning through physical activity? Let's take a look at an example that engaged a group of students in Northern Ontario to take an activity in their own direction.
When I first got there, I had 25 minutes to teach physical activity with my grade 7-8 students. So I had to really be creative of how I could connect their environment to the physical education curriculum. So some ways I did that were through snowshoeing, and I found that the students were true leaders when they got outside. So there was circumstances where I would like to follow the trail, and that was no fun to them. They like to break their own trail, literally, and the students were different outside than they were just in the gymnasium. So it was really neat to see that when you got outside, when you connected it to their everyday life, they're more motivated and proud to be physically active.
You might have this wonderful literacy lesson, but if a student hasn't had some physical activity that day or hasn't eaten properly, they're not going to engage in it. They will listen for so long and then they tune out. That's just the nature of a learner. If you can give that student an opportunity to have a physical activity break and come back to the lesson, or sometime in that day they've had an opportunity to be physically active, they're just going to be a better learner, a healthier person.
Learning through physical activity helps students understand their bodies and helps them develop the skills they need to lead healthy, active lives beyond the classroom.
In our health and physical education classrooms, kids spend way too much time sitting as it is, not just in school, but in our environment now. So we're the ones who are the opportunity that every moment there should be movement going on, and kids having that joy of movement again, and helping them make connections to the physical self again, to their mental, emotional, and spiritual self. We need to help them reconnect the physical to their bodies.
Lots of research that shows that kids who are active turn into active adults. So how can we engage them through, again, activities that they like, activities that help them to develop the confidence and competence as well as creativity in their movements, which will, continue to spark them to be active, find that joy in movement, and then hopefully they'll carry it on from elementary to secondary and beyond.
Physical activity is key to student engagement in the classroom. In health and physical education, students can experience the joy of movement, learn about their bodies, and develop skills that will contribute to their lifelong health and well-being. For additional support regarding the health and physical education curriculum, visit teachingtools.ofia.net.